Hi, this is Stuttering John Melendez from The Howard Stern Show. And for some really stupid reason, you're listening...
Insufferable Bastards.
Great name for a podcast, morons.
All right, speaking of people you don't want to hang out with,
What?
I happened to stumble across this show on YouTube called Insufferable Bastards.
Hey, you're listening to Insufferable Bastards. My name is Joe Grillo for the purposes of this broadcast. And I am not joined by my co-host, Mr. Brian Spears, so there'll be no hello. He is not here. Doing this one alone because I'm excited because Chad Zumock just came out with a new podcast. It's very exciting. In addition, earlier this month, he released a comedy special, a stand-up comedy special that I watched about a week ago called Kmart Ready on drybarradio.com. So I'm going to review it very briefly. And I'm going to compare and contrast the Chad you're going to hear in this podcast episode of his with the stand-up special. So in this podcast episode of Chad's, it's called Kumia Dick Writers, Karl and Chrissy. Kumia Dick Writers, Riders. I'm missing some teeth on the bottom. Karl and Chrissy. So in the episode, he does what Chad has been doing the last couple of weeks. He goes after Anthony Cumia. He goes after Karl from Who Are These Podcasts and Chrissy. In the first clip, this is about 10 minutes into the podcast. I thought this was the most interesting part of the whole broadcast. It's 31 minutes long, but I'm going to play just like one or two clips from it. But he starts off addressing Karl specifically with this comment.
And by the way, don't act like the difference between me and you. I was popular in high school. Okay. I played sports. I was class clown, class cutest. I had that superlative. I've always been around the cool kids. That crew is not cool. I know it's your time to shine and you think you're part of the cool kids now. Chrissy Mayer, Alex Stein, and a fucking 63-year-old drunk Anthony Cumia who may or may not have choked Vinnie Brand's daughter. Your crew's not cool. That's not a cool crew. You guys aren't the cool kids. And not one of you will approach me. Not one of you, because you're all fucking keyboard warriors and dorks. Karl, I know you guys live in the little bubble, but you go around my crew, which is cool. Like going to New York, hanging out with Godfrey and Artie Fuqua, getting girls, and that's cool. That's cool. This Friday, Boca, hanging out with Jim Brewer. That's fun. That's a good time, sold out show. That's a cool crew. A couple months ago, hanging out with Brewer and Florentine in Naples. That was fun. That's a good crew. Rochester, your boys, that's not a cool crew. You guys aren't cool. Nothing cool about you. And I guarantee that half room, I want to see the attendance because it'll probably be little to none. I guarantee they all come up to me and talk to me. It's just those lists. I know you try to manipulate and control the narrative. I know you're the king of Reddit. You're the king of fake accounts. But make no mistake about it. I am the best comedian in that club that evening. Okay, that's the facts. When I go to the Orlando Improv on the 27th, I am the best comedian in the club that night. The best. Here's a fact, and do your little research, your little homework. I worked more this year as a stand-up comedian as Chrissy, Kevin Brennan, and Gino combined. The three of them combined, I guarantee I made more money doing stand-up comedy than the three of them combined did this.
Combined, yes. He did more shows than them combined. He sounds like me. All right, I don't even remember what he says at this point, but I just wanted to give you a taste of what Chad was saying on this particular episode. Here's another clip. I just want to point out that's Chad breathing, not me.
Karl, I know what you're doing. Who are these podcasts? Kissing up the Cumia. I get it. It's your meal ticket, $10,000 a month. That's nothing to shake a stick at. Congratulations. Congratulations on taking Jocktober and then pandering to Anthony. You did it. But if you think I'm afraid of you, do you think I'm intimidated by you? Do you think you're like, when you're sitting in your basement surrounded by your boys, do you think like, I'm going to fucking break this dude down, man. Watch. I'm going to take this dude down. I'm invincible, untouchable. And my favorite thing is when all these, I guess there's more clickbait podcasts going on about me right now, and it's pathetic. I won't even watch it because everyone's trying to like do who are these podcasts, and everyone's trying to capitalize on the John train, and they're trying to throw me in with Opie and John, and it's just not working. It's just not working. And if you're going to do that, you got to be funny. You got to be good. And from what I hear, they're not funny and they're not good. So it's not working. With that being said,
I am definitely one of those people cashing in, bottom feeding off this feud. But I'm also a fan, and it's fascinating to listen to. So I just wanted to play those two clips. I think if you're familiar with Chad and you're familiar with who are these podcasts and the Uncle Rico show and Stuttering John in general and the Dabblers universe out there, you'll probably get a kick out of that talk of Chad saying he was voted cutest in high school. So, Chad has these issues, right? It's been well documented. He was arrested on accusations of credit card fraud. He had job trouble when he was a radio guy, I guess, in Cleveland. Arrested for, I think it was a DWI charge, but that was he was exonerated or it was thrown out, something like that. He's led an interesting life. So I thought he's been promoting his Kmart Ready special a lot. I was ready. My expectations for this were high because this is a dark guy. I mean, you just heard that, guys. There was no real comedy in what he was just saying. He's a great villain. I think he contributes in a huge way to what makes the ongoing drama of who are these podcasts and Kevin Brennan entertaining. He's the villain. He's a great heel. So I thought maybe this comedy special of his was going to be Chad exploring that darkness. Like what happened, Chad? I realized this episode or this special was taped, he says, almost 2 years ago, I guess. But when you get fired from a radio job for some type of law enforcement thing, when you get arrested in Florida in 2020 on all this credit card stuff, like what goes through, like how did that happen, right? Isn't this guy an outlaw comedy? He takes on, I respect the fact, he takes on Anthony Cumia. It's like Chad goes after the people with the most rabid fan bases. You got to be out of your mind to take on Karl from Who Are These Podcasts with the fan base that the guy has. O&A pests that are following and still follow Anthony Cumia. To start that, especially in 2022 with social media and Reddit and all that, you're a special brand of crazy. So I was looking forward to this special. I watched it, right? So then I watched it and I was just shocked at how vanilla the special is. I mean, if you want to listen to a safe, completely non-edgy half-hour special you can watch with your kids and your whole family, like at the dinner table, you can put this on. There is nothing challenging about this. There's nothing dark. It is Ray Romano in like the early 90s. It's all those local comedy shows that were on in the late 80s. It's like, who's Byron Allen? It's like the Byron Allen show. That's how bad Chad's special is. It's how disappointing it is. Now, I found out, and I had no idea, because I'm no comedy nerd, so I have no business really commenting on any of this, but I do find it interesting. I'm a fan. But I guess Dry Bar is, they don't allow you to curse. It's all like, it's all sort of wholesome, clean comedy. So my question is, why the hell would Chad Zumock, a guy who picks fights with everybody, who just is vicious in his podcast? I mean, this is like his fourth episode attacking Karl in a week since Karl put him on blast, as the kids say, in a previous episode of Who Are These Podcasts. But where is this going to get Chad? I don't understand who he's Florida's most dangerous comedian. Why isn't he exploring any of the stuff that we all know about? He just acts like it's not there. That's why you're interesting, Chad. That's the comedy. Where's the humor in that? With those credit cards. And he calls the thing Kmart ready. So the whole kind of running gag in the special is that he's white trash. But he comments on other people, though. He spends the entire special, it starts off, he talks about how this particular Walmart, it's a people of Walmart joke, but it's like, no, Chad, your comedy should be coming from you're one of them, right? You're a guy who got arrested for credit card fraud. How did that happen? What were the circumstances? What went through your mind? How did you get in that situation? There's got to be a darkness there that you can mine for humor. And it's called Kmart Ready because Karl, I keep doing that. Chad had a job interview in something, he wasn't a good Kmart worker. And so they told him he wasn't Kmart ready, meaning his skills were so low and his attitude was so bad and he's so trashy, he wasn't Kmart ready. But shouldn't the special be titled Not Kmart Ready?
Gay, I love to ruin small talk. That's what I do. I'll tell you what happened. A couple weeks ago, I was in an airport. I had a shirt that said Cleveland on it. And I'm just chilling, minding my business. The guy walks up and he goes, "Hey! You from Cleveland? Says it on your shirt." So I look at him. I'm like, "Originally." He's like, "Oh, okay. So do you know a guy named, And he's like, "Tim Jones." This is how I handled the situation. This is what I do. No one's around. I just walk up to him by myself. I go, "You just say Tim Jones? You said he lives in Cleveland now? Thanks. I've been looking for him. He's a dead man." And I walked away.
This is Chad talking about his name. Because how Karen is a thing and Chad is a thing.
Karen. I get it, Karen. I'm with you. My name's Chad. Enough said. The jury's out. That's like the Karen of men's names. Chad.
All right, so that's happy-go-lucky Chad in his very family-friendly drybarcomedy.com special. I don't understand why he would do that. Also, a couple of times in this special, Chad has the shakes. He's trembling when he's holding the microphone a little bit. I don't know what that is about either. But anyway, I kind of, like I said, I don't hate Chad. I thought he was pretty good as Brennan's sidekick and then arch enemy. I like that whole storyline. I like that he gets into all these Twitter wars and uses his podcast time to attack other comedians. I think that's engrossing. Not necessarily funny, as it's been pointed out. He's not like a joke teller in these podcasts. He's just personally attacking everybody under the sun. But I think there's a place for that. I just wish he had used that bile that's inside him somehow to tell some jokes and make me laugh. And again, I'm not funny. Not a funny dude. I respect stand-ups for what they do. But the storytelling here, it's just very vanilla. And I'm just so confused by listening to his podcast and then watching that special. So that's all I got. Doing this for clickbait and some views. Help me out. Peace out.
These fucking superhero movies, how many fucking more can they do?